77.Samyutta Nikaya 12.35. The Discourse on Dependent Origination through Ignorance. The Buddha was dwelling in Sravasti. The Blessed One said, Bhikkhus, conditioned by ignorance, volitional formation arise. Conditioned by volitional formations, consciousness arises. Thus, this entire mass of suffering comes to be. When this was said, a bhikkhu asked the Blessed One, Lord, what is aging in death? Whose aging in death is it? The Blessed One replied, This is not a proper question. Bhikkhu, whether one asks what is aging in death and whose is it, or says aging in death is different from the one who experiences it, both statements mean the same thing, just worded differently. Bhikkhu, if one holds the view the soul and the body are the same, the holy life cannot be lived. If one holds the view the soul and the body are different, the holy life also cannot be lived. Without falling into these two extremes, the Tathagata teaches the Dhamma by the middle way. With birth as condition, aging in death comes to be. Lord, what is birth? Whose birth is it? The Blessed One said, This is not a proper question. The Tathagata teaches by the middle way. With existence as condition, birth comes to be. Lord, what is existence? Whose existence is it? The Blessed One said, This is not a proper question. The Tathagata teaches, with clinging as condition, existence comes to be. With craving as condition, clinging comes to be. With feeling as condition, craving comes to be. With contact as condition, feeling comes to be. With the six sense bases as condition, contact comes to be. With name and form as condition, the six sense bases come to be. With consciousness as condition, name and form comes to be. With volitional formations as condition, consciousness comes to be. Lord, what are volitional formations? Whose volitional formations are they? The Blessed One said, This is not a proper question. The Tathagata teaches, with ignorance as condition, volitional formations come to be. Bhikkhu, when ignorance is completely abandoned and destroyed, all those speculations, attachments, and agitations such as what is aging in death, whose aging in death is it, or aging in death is different, or the soul and body are the same, or the soul and body are different, all these are cut off like a palm tree cut down at its root, made non-existent, never to arise again in the future. Bhikkhu, when ignorance is completely abandoned and destroyed, all speculations about what is birth, whose birth is it, are cut off. Bhikkhu, when ignorance is completely abandoned and destroyed, all speculations about what is existence, clinging, craving, feeling, contact, six sense bases, name and form, consciousness. Bhikkhu, when ignorance is completely abandoned and destroyed, all speculations such as what are volitional formations, whose volitional formations are they, or these formations are different, or the soul and body are the same, or the soul and body are different, all these are cut off like a palm tree cut down at its root, made non-existent, never to arise again in the future. The fifth discourse. Analysis of the Sutra's profound meaning. 1. Core themes analysis. The Sutra reveals three key themes through a dialogue. The deep interconnection of the 12 links of dependent origination. The problem of attachment to self. The state of liberation through the extinction of ignorance. 2. Wisdom behind the questions. When a bhikkhu asks, what is aging in death? Whose is it? This seemingly simple question reveals attachment to self, confusion about the nature of phenomena, bewilderment about the subject of life. 3. The Buddha's wise response. When the Buddha says, this is not a proper question, it indicates the question itself implies attachment to self. Asking whose already falls into self-view. Need to transform one's way of thinking. 4. Manifestation of the middle way. The Buddha points out two extremes. Soul and body are the same, attachment to identity. Soul and body are different, attachment to difference. This reveals avoiding nihilistic and eternalistic views, transcending dualistic thinking, entering the middle way wisdom of dependent origination. 5. Completeness of the dependent origination chain. The text shows the complete causal chain. Ignorance formations consciousness name and form sixth sense, bases contact, feeling, craving, clinging, existence, birth, aging, and death. This indicates all phenomena are interdependent. There is no independent self. Liberation requires cutting off at the root. 6. The state of ignorance's extinction. The text uses the metaphor like a palm tree cut down at its root to describe complete elimination, a state that will never arise again. Complete liberation. 7. Modern implications. Insights for modern people. Letting go of attachment to self. Observing the interconnection of things. Solving problems at their root. 8. Practice guidelines. Practical guidance. Not getting caught in conceptual thinking. Directly observing dependent origination. Starting practice by addressing ignorance. 9. Deep contemplation. This text prompts us to consider, what is the true self? Why do we experience birth, death, and afflictions? How can we achieve true liberation? 10. Life wisdom. The text ultimately points to transcending conceptual attachment, realizing the truth of dependent origination, attaining ultimate liberation. This text is not just a theoretical system, but also a practical guide. It tells us not to fall into conceptual traps, to observe problems at their root, to see reality with wisdom. Through this understanding, we can let go of unnecessary attachments, cultivate pure wisdom, move toward true liberation. This is a text that points directly to the human heart, revealing not only the truth of life, but also showing the path to liberation. In our complex modern society, it continues to shine with eternal wisdom, guiding us toward true freedom and liberation.